Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I am Arwen, President and Chief Fairy Godmother of Dreammakers Worldwide. We are here together to talk about my favorite subject, dreams. Specifically, your dreams. And I am over the moon excited to be with you today. Here is what you are going to get out of our next hour. You will learn the surprising reasons why you need to pursue your dream now. You will identify which Clark Kent disguise is keeping you from being the hero of your own life. You'll see your biggest expense related to your dreams and how to work around it. And you will explore the 5 steps to make your dream happen, the Dreammakers Make It Happen methodology. We have less than an hour, so I'm going to go as fast as I can through all 5 steps. I'm going to really into step 3, plan the work and work the plan, because you can start today making your dream real using the tool I'm going to demonstrate in this webinar. For those of you who want to work directly with me, at the end of our call, I'm going to talk about Dream Camp, a powerful 8-week virtual program to bring your dream to life. Okay, let's dive in. You are the hero of your life. Let me say that again. You are the hero of your life, whether you feel like it right now or not. When you were young, you had extraordinary dreams. Maybe you wanted to fly a rocket ship or win the school spelling bee. Maybe you wanted to be a princess or play in the NFL, or both. Maybe you wanted to change the world. You had dreams and you fearlessly believed in them and yourself. According to the Peak Performance Institute, having dreams or setting goals provide many benefits, including having direction, clearer focus on what's important, clarity in decision-making, motivation, and a sense of purpose. If any of your dreams have survived and are still with you today, you are very lucky. According to a research study done by AARP, these are the respective percentages of millennials, Gen Xers, and baby boomers who have no bucket list of dreams that they want to accomplish. According to Webster's Dictionary, a dream is a strongly desired goal or purpose. And it is, but a dream goes much deeper than simply being a goal or a resolution. Your dreams are sacred elements of who you are and who you aspire to be. You want to use the combination of gifts and talents that make you you to learn, experience, and create cool stuff in the world. And you want that cool stuff to have a meaningful impact on your world so that you'll always be remembered. That's what your dreams really are. Like I said, you are the hero of your life, although you may not be acting like it. Not yet. So what happens? How could you forget to be the hero in your own life? Why haven't you spent every waking moment making your dreams come true? Well, life happens. Somewhere along the way, someone told you that you need to grow up and act like an adult. Maybe they told you that dreams are childish and that heroes aren't real. And that hurt. It was like being told that magic isn't real. It was a punch to your gut that broke your heart. So you made a decision. You decided you needed to hide your cape behind a disguise. You thought hiding would keep you safe and protected. So you picked the Clark Kent disguise that works best for you. Let's explore them, and as I describe each one, see which one sounds most like your life. You could have more than one. The juggler. If your disguise is the juggler, you have so many balls in the air that something is bound to drop, and it's usually your dream. Maybe your dream of financial independence. Slowly over time, the noisiness of life, the day-to-day routine, drowns out your dreams. You focus on picking up the dry cleaning, keeping your boss happy, paying the bills each month, making dinner. Before you know it, every waking moment is taken up with the busyness of life. You're exhausted keeping it all going. And so you drop the ball on your dream because you are barely hanging in there juggling everything else. The pro of the juggler is that you can get stuff done. The con, it's just not the right stuff. You stress yourself out, you feel dissatisfied because you work so hard, but you're no closer to financial independence. And if you're like me, you look for superficial ways to deal with these cons. Binge watching TV, eating junk food, maybe a glass of wine at the end of the day, some mindless online shopping, which only pulls you farther away from your dream of financial independence. The daydreamer. If your disguise is the daydreamer, you spend a lot of time thinking about your dream. It's a way to escape the reality that you are not being the hero of your life, while safely imagining what it would be like if you were. You invest a lot of time and energy thinking about starting your dream business with little reward because thinking about your business dream without taking action will not make it real. You may want it more. You may think you've been working on your dream for ages, and you will be frustrated with the lack of progress in actually making your business dream happen. In the AARP study, only 3% of participants thought it was fun to think about their dream list. That's 97% who were dissatisfied by a lack of action. The pro of the daydreamer is that you have great clarity about your business dream. The con is you've spent a lot of time thinking about it without much to show for it. According to a Harvard study, people spend at least 47% of their waking hours daydreaming. If you sleep an average of 8 hours a night, that means you daydream 7.5 hours each day. In my work at Dreammakers, I find that most people have been thinking about their dream for at least 10 years without taking action. Put it all together and you could have spent 27,000 hours or 3 years thinking about your business idea without any result. 3 years of your life thinking about something you never actually get to experience. Cinderella. If your disguise is Cinderella, you are probably exhausted all the time because you are compelled to be nice. It is important to note that nice is different from kind. Kind is having compassion and empathy for others while maintaining healthy boundaries. Kind people put your own oxygen masks on first and then help your neighbor. Nice people try to help your neighbor put on their oxygen mask and then you both suffocate. A Cinderella, you are a people pleaser who simply cannot say no. In the process, you exhaust all of your time, energy, and resources on others. This leaves nothing for yourself or your dream of changing the world. On the plus side, the people in your life love this quality because you do anything and everything they ask of you. You can be a pushover. The downside is you must wait for a fairy godmother or Prince Charming to come into your life because you've used up everything you have. To have any hope of your dream happening, somebody else is going to have to do it for you. But honestly, who could possibly change the world in the specific way you could? No one, that's who. Much like the juggler, the pro of Cinderella is that you get stuff done. It's just other people's stuff. You also have the con of the stress you put yourself through, being dissatisfied and overindulging to numb out. Unfortunately, the cons of the Cinderella disguise are compounded by the fact that you're always looking for others to be your fairy godmother or Prince Charming, which means you have unrealistic expectations. So your hopes get up and then they're dashed over and over and over again. It's not good for you, and it can be killer on your relationships. The daredevil. If your disguise is the daredevil, you leap into your dream. Maybe it's a dream to build a house for your family. You leap into that dream without any thought. This means you jump in fearlessly with no semblance of a plan. You're just throwing things at that dream house, including the kitchen sink, in the hopes that something will stick and somehow your dream will happen. When it doesn't work out or you run into an obstacle, you have no idea what to do. So you give up and move on to the next dream, maybe to become a best-selling author. If this is your disguise, you've probably had a lot of starts and stops in your life, a lot of self-instigated change. Different majors, different careers, breakups, equipment for a lot of different hobbies or projects you start but don't finish. You move around seeking a fresh start. All of this takes a lot of energy, but you don't have much tangible progress to show for all of your efforts. The pro of the daredevil is that you are fearless and you aren't afraid of change. The cons are all the time, energy, money, and resources you've wasted without any reward. The other con is the emotional toll of the roller coaster ride you put yourself and those in your life through without ever getting to a finish line. Okay, first poll question. Which disguise do you most relate to? Look, if you're having trouble seeing your disguise, that's normal. Almost everybody has some form of one of these because if you didn't, you'd have the dreams, right? Most of the time, we don't see it ourselves. The reason I can see them is that I've talked to a lot of people who want to create dreams, and I've done it myself. I've done the work to figure out my own disguise and mitigate it, which is how I manifested all of the dreams that I have. I come from a background of working within complex environments to make things happen and having to deal constantly with constraints. There are never enough resources to make it happen, but that's been my work for many, many years in the corporate world, making things happen with limited resources. And so my brain has been trained to look at something big and figure it out. How do you break it down? How do you go find the resources when you don't have them? Whether that's money, people, time, expertise. And how do you get started with practical, doable action steps? And that's what it's going to take. This is the way I navigate life. With okay, so this isn't hard. Solving problems is the way I orient to the world. This is my brilliance. It doesn't matter where I am. I can spend a couple of minutes with somebody and I can instantly see how to take something that is very complex and start breaking it down into something that is simple for them to do. So, this is your world. You are a hero with dreams, but you're not living them because you are in disguise, living the life of Clark Kent. The cost to remain in this world is crazy expensive. You lose out on so much. You squander your best years living somebody else's life. You aren't able to use your full capacities in any area of your life because you're hiding your true capacity behind a disguise that you think keeps you safe, but really only holds you back. In this world, your legacy is a life of missed opportunities. Crazy expensive, right? But that's not all. A few years ago, a palliative care nurse from Australia wrote a book about the top 5 most common regrets of her dying patients. The number one regret that she heard over and over again was, "I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me." According to her, this was the most common regret of all. When people realize that their life is almost over and they look back clearly on it, it is easy to see how many dreams have gone unfulfilled. Most people had not honored even a half of their dreams and had to die knowing that it was due to the choices they had made or not made. Health brings a freedom very few realize until they no longer have it. Everyone on this call, myself included, is mortal. If you live in the United States, the World Health Organization estimates that male or female, your life expectancy is 79.3 years. You know how old you are, so you do the math. In the AARP study, 83% of participants said they either had not started or were just getting started planning the next item on their dream list. And finally, the University of Scranton did a study that showed only 8% of people actually complete what they start. Remaining in disguise is ridiculously expensive. So, I know what you're thinking. Cool, Arwen. I am so glad I joined you for this webinar. This has been really uplifting. Thanks a lot. And to that, I say you're welcome, truly. What if you could simply decide to pursue your dream or let it go and stop all the waiting and worrying about your dream maybe happening someday? What if you could do it by dropping the disguise and becoming the hero of your life? What if you could make your dream happen in the next year? Decide, plan, act. That is what's missing in the old world. Prioritize your dream. Take focused, organized, specific action consistently to make your dream happen. When you are able to do that, you enter a whole new world. You can make dreams come true over and over and over again. You enjoy being your best self for decades because you become the hero of your own life now. You drop the disguises and stop waiting for your dreams to happen someday. You know now what all of those palliative care patients only wished they'd known when they were your age. You become more disciplined and expand your capacity to produce results in all areas of your life. You show up more powerfully in every situation. You become a role model and an example of hope for all the people in your life who are stuck in the old world. Your legacy will be easily built, and while you're still around to enjoy it. When my dad was my age, he went on a business trip to Europe. He and his colleagues had a chance to play the course at St. Andrews, which for any non-golfers is a huge deal. It's the birthplace of golf and sacred ground for every avid fan. Now, my granddad was just such a fan. He played at least 3 times a week for decades. He loved the game. When my dad got back from his trip, he told Granddad all about it. They talked about going to play the course together. For years, they talked about it. But always, life happened, something came up, and they never quite got around to doing it. You've probably guessed the end of this story. That's right. My granddad died before my dad could take him to Scotland. My granddad died over 20 years ago, but to this day, one of my dad's biggest regrets is that they never took that trip together. Watching this unfold had a profound effect on me. I am now about the age my dad was when he went on that business trip. So, 2 years ago, I found out that the National World War II Museum in New Orleans puts on a Band of Brothers tour. My dad is crazy about World War II. He has seen every movie, read every book. He could tell you every date, location, campaign, who won, who lost, and why. That's just who he is. So for Father's Day in 2016, I sent him info about the trip with his Father's Day card that said, "Block June 2017 because you're busy." Once he caught on that it was my treat, which removed all of the time and money excuses that we all raise when facing a dream come true, he was in. For a year, we talked and planned. During one of these conversations, he let it slip that he'd told my mom years earlier, while reading the Band of Brothers book, that he would like to go on one of those Band of Brothers tours someday. Unspoken dream? Check. In June 2016, he and I spent 3 weeks gallivanting all over Europe. Our feet stood on every field where the men of Easy Company stood. We were on the beaches of Normandy for the D-Day anniversary. We saw paratroopers parachute in. We stood in foxholes at Bastogne. We walked to the top of Eagle's Nest. My dad was like a kid Christmas morning. And I had the extraordinary opportunity to get to know my dad, not as my dad, but simply as a man living a dream come true. And we have those memories and stories to share and relive for the rest of our lives. Decide, plan, act. That is what Dreammakers can help you do. It is the heart of Dreammakers. Using my 20+ years of tactical experience solving complex problems and achieving big results, you can make your dream real. With a kick in the pants or a warm hug, you can decide to pursue your dream or not. Using our Dreammakers methodology, you have all the tools you need to plan out how you will make your dream happen. With our Dreammakers community, you have the help and support you need to take action. So here's your first kick in the pants and your second poll question. With everything I've shared with you, what are you going to decide? St. Andrews or Band of Brothers? In the time remaining, let's go through the simple 5-step process to jumpstart your dream, the Dreammakers Make It Happen methodology. I've created a download for you. You should have received it just a few minutes before this session began. If you printed it out, grab it so you can fill in the blanks as we go. Step 1, clarify the dreamy details. Before you can begin making your dream happen, you need to know exactly what you want. For those of you who took on the overachiever assignment, you started capturing your dream details. Usually, this is the easiest step because you have spent months, if not years, thinking about your dream. Whether it's a business idea, a dream book, or a work of art you want to create. In this step, you work through a series of activities and tools to refine the dream, what it looks like, feels like, and how you'll feel when it happens. You work through why this is important to you, the impact you want to have on your own life, your community, maybe even the world, and why. As you make the larger connections, you're more motivated to see it through. Step 1 is also where you work through a series of questions to gauge the strength of your dream, and, if necessary, how you can make it even stronger. By the end of step 1, you are able to clearly articulate what your dream is. So you know the target you're aiming for and can share it with others to enroll them in helping you accomplish it. Step 2, remove the obstacles keeping you from your dream. Once you know the specific details of the dream, it's important to look at the reasons you haven't already made it happen. After all, you spent a lot of time thinking about your dream. It begs the question, what's kept you from achieving it? While there are legitimate obstacles that keep people from making their dream happen, like your dream is to climb Machu Picchu, but you're 7 months pregnant, most of those obstacles are temporary, or they are tied to your disguise. In step 2, you identify your blind spots so that you can be kind to yourself when they show up. As you build an awareness of your limiting beliefs, you develop strategies to address them so that you can move forward despite them, or better yet, make them disappear altogether. You implement your limiting belief strategies each time the limiting belief comes up until you are no longer held captive to them. With practice and consistency, you will become an expert at removing the obstacles that have kept you from going for it. Step 3, plan the work and work the plan. Okay, this is where the rubber meets the road. We're going to spend some time here because it's planning the work where most people trip up. Maybe you see a few of the pieces you'll need to make the dream happen, but it can be hard to see the big picture and all of the moving parts. It can be overwhelming. I know, I've experienced it myself, but this is where Dreammakers is significantly different from all the other programs out there. I've infused the Dreammakers Make It Happen methodology with my 20+ years of experience managing multi-million-dollar programs for Fortune 100 companies. My first dream was to make a quilt. I'm not a particularly crafty person, and I certainly didn't know anything about sewing a quilt when I started this dream. It took 6 months to do, partly because I was building my Dreammaker muscle, but mostly because I didn't have a plan when I started. For example, I went out and bought a bunch of beautiful fabric. I spent a lot of money. It wasn't until they were all laid out on my bed that it struck me that I had no idea how to make a quilt. It was overwhelming. I chose to persevere, but some people just give up instead. I went to the library to do research. This was before YouTube. And I found classes at this huge quilting festival that I discovered happens in my town each year. I did things completely backwards. I found out that I'd picked some of the hardest fabrics to work with. Genius me. I made a lot of mistakes that cost me time and money, hence the 6 months. Fast forward to my 15th dream, going on a Kenyan safari. By this time, I'd been building my Dreammaker muscle for over a decade, and I had the Make It Happen methodology to guide me. So I started with a plan. From the moment I said aloud, I want to go on a Kenyan safari, to putting everything together, including finding an orphanage where I could volunteer, collecting over 150 pounds of books for the orphanage's library, working with a toy company to get them to donate $3,000 worth of puppets for the orphanage's school, finding a cosmetics company to donate 100 lipsticks for the girls, as well as organizing my safari itinerary, flights, excursions, and lodging, took less than 10 days. It was 4 months before I actually set foot in the Nairobi airport, but only because there were so many flippin' shots that I had to get before I could go. Otherwise, I could have been living my dream in less than 2 weeks. 6 months to 10 days. That's a huge improvement, and you can experience it too. Now, you're going to take the first step to build your dream plan and move from aspiration to action. You're going to go through step by step the Break It Down worksheet. Again, I've created a download for you that I'll make available at the end of the session. For those of you who completed the Overachiever assignment, now is the time to get that out. You'll want the specific details of your dream for this activity. Okay, so here is what the Break It Down template looks like. The template has 5 levels. The size and complexity of your dream will determine how many levels you need. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I'm going to walk through an example, so take a deep breath. You got this. You can absolutely master it. And when you do, you will be so much more effective in making your dream happen, and happen fast. Before I go through the example, there are a few guidelines to get you started. First, the goal is to break down your dream into manageable bite-sized pieces so that you don't get overwhelmed. When you're done, you want to have a list of actions that you can take on a daily or weekly basis. Most people can carve out up to 4 hours per week to work on their dream. So that's what I'll show you in this example. But you break your dream down to the size that works for you and your life. That may be smaller than 4 hours. It may be greater than 4 hours. I would strongly encourage you to break down your dream into tasks that will take less than 8 hours. If it's bigger than a day, most people get lost in the task, become unfocused and inefficient, or simply give up. Tasks that size are just too difficult to implement. Now, for those of you who completed the super duper overachiever assignment, you'll want to pull that out as well. When you figured out the days, times of day, and circumstances under which you do your best work, that is the ideal time to work on making your dream happen. You will want to block off that time as dream making time. Go back and look at those times on your calendar. Realistically, how much time are you willing to carve out? Whatever amount of time it is, 15 minutes or 4 hours, that is the size your task must be at the lowest level. So you'll keep working the Break It Down template until you get your tasks to the right size for you and your life. I can already hear you. But Arwen, what if a task is at its smallest size and it doesn't fit my time frame? Then what do I do? When you first start working with the template, I suggest you walk away when you get to this dilemma and give your brain a break. Put it down, sleep on it. You may find a brilliant new way to break down the task further. There's an art to breaking down tasks. It's part of building your Dreammaker muscle. It takes practice. Sometimes, though, you really have broken a task down to its smallest component and it still doesn't fit your time frame. These I call your essential tasks. You've broken them down to their most basic nature and they're necessary to making your dream happen. These essential tasks you treat special. If you only have an hour a day to dedicate to your dream, but you have an essential task that will take 6 hours, you are going to have to do something different. to make it all fit. This is where you look at everything else you have on your calendar to see what you can move around. You look at what you have going on that week. What tasks can you move to free up the 6 hours of dream making time you need? What tasks can you ask someone to help you with? What can you outsource? What can you delay until the following week? As you continue to move around, you will find the time to complete your essential task. It's an art and it takes practice, but keep at it and you'll build your dream maker muscle. The final thing I want to address before we jump into the example is what to do if you don't know how to break down your task. In this situation, you'll do two things. First, you'll put a placeholder task like later and keep going with the rest of your break it down worksheet. You'll do this to keep the momentum going. Sometimes when you work through the rest of your dream, you'll have an aha moment and figure out the one you skipped. When you've finished everything, though, you may still have some placeholders. This is when you channel your inner detective. How could you figure out what tasks should go here? It may involve doing some research. You may need to talk to somebody who's done something similar. When in doubt, I always suggest that you find the smartest, most creative person you know. Tell them you're making this big, audacious goal that you've dreamed about for years happen, but that you're stuck and you need their help. You're having trouble figuring out X and describe the context of your placeholder task. You decided to ask the smartest, most creative person you know for their help. Would they let you buy them a cup of coffee and brainstorm solutions to your problem together? Trust me, this works. Very few people will say no. Everyone loves being recognized for their own brand of genius. Making a meaningful difference in the life of somebody and helping them get unstuck because of your brand of genius, well, that's the kind of thing that will just make a person's day. Okay, let's fill out the worksheet. I'm going to break down my latest dream to be Ella Fitzgerald for a night. So the first thing I do is write down the dream. That's level 1. Then I think about the categories of tasks I need to do to become Ella. These are second level. And I expect that some, maybe even all, will need to be broken down further. If I want to experience being the greatest jazz singer, then I'm going to need a song. I'm going to need a place to sing the song. I'll want to have a budget so that I can fund my dream. I need an audience to listen to me sing, and most importantly, to cheer wildly when I finish, whatever I sound like. And I'm going to need a gorgeous outfit that makes me feel like $1,000,000. Okay, so that's level 2, the big buckets of tasks. Now let's move to level 3. Drilling down on the song, I need to familiarize myself with all of the songs Ella sang. I know some of them, but I need to get a list of all of them. Then I'll need to block several hours, probably over a couple of weekends, to listen to all of them. Then I can pick my favorite one, the one I want to sing. And then finally, I'll need to work with a voice coach to learn how to sing the song. Okay, I've now completed level 3. Looking at it, most of the tasks will take 4 hours or less. All of them except working with a voice coach. So we keep drilling down until the final task either can't be broken down any further or takes less time than what I have so that it fits within my life. Okay, so on to level 4. To work with a coach, first I need to research the best coaches in my area and what makes them the best. Then I'll want to interview a few of them to see who I can afford, who I feel most comfortable with, and who really gets how big a deal this dream is to me. This isn't just taking voice lessons just because. This is for a specific purpose, a specific expression of my spirit, and I want a coach that gets that and will fully support me. Once I have the information, I can pick my coach. And once I have my coach, I'll have to work with them for a period of time until we both feel that I'm ready for my Ella Fitzgerald night. The last thing I listed is that I'm going to have to improve my lung capacity. Ella had a big voice and could hold some big notes. I am going to have to get in shape to have any hope of being able to do that myself. So this is level 4. Again, Keep drilling down until the final task either can't be broken down further or it fits within the time frame that you have available. Working with the coach and the lung capacity tasks are going to take more than 4 hours, so let's go on to level 5. Once I have my coach, I'll want to set up an initial lesson to explain my dream in detail, the song I want to learn, and that I need their help figuring out how long it's going to take to get me in Ella shape for this one song. They can assess my voice and put together a plan of how many lessons it's going to take to get me ready. Then we'll need to meet for those lessons on a regular basis, and I'm going to have to practice at home. Because I want to remember this dream forever, I've decided that I want a recording of my singing the song that I can listen to for years to come. All of those tasks either take less than 4 hours, or, like complete lessons, can't be broken down any further. So I'm done. I have no idea how to improve my lung capacity, so I put a placeholder and go talk to one of my athletic friends or a trainer at the gym to figure out what tasks should go there. Okay, so this is my dream plan to be Ella Fitzgerald for a night. The beauty of the Break It Down activity is that you conquer the sense of overwhelm. You go from having no clue how to start to having specific actions you can take every day to get there. You can see at a glance all the things you need to do to make your dream happen. You know where there are holes you need to fill and what to do to fill them. You can start blocking Dreammaker time on your calendar to complete the lowest level tasks. With the Break It Down activity, you are able to move from thinking about your dream someday to taking the specific actions necessary to make your dream happen as efficiently and effectively as possible. To finish out step 3, once you've broken down the dream into its essential tasks, you identify your dream's critical path. You make and block the needed time to implement your dream plan on your calendar. You put the tasks on your calendar so that you can execute your roadmap and can easily track your progress. Then you start working your plan, adjusting as you need to along the way. It's an art, it takes practice, but with patience, persistence, and a little help, you too can become a superstar dream maker, seeing the big picture and all of the moving parts. Step 4, inventory your resources and make your shopping list. What is it going to take to make your dream happen? What are the specific skills, resources, contacts, knowledge that you need? In this step, you look at what you really have available to make your dream happen and what you're missing. Many people overlook how much they bring to the table. You are much smarter, more resourceful, and capable than you give yourself credit for. Step 4 is where you take inventory. You put together your dream shopping list, and then you gather those needed supplies. This is also where you spend some time evaluating your support system. Going for something big and audacious takes courage. It's a hero's journey. So you want to make sure that you've made the most important people in your life, your inner circle, aware of what you're doing. And you want to make sure you've identified who's going to be there to pick you up and give you a hug when you stumble, or give you a kick in the pants when you're procrastinating. Step 4 is all about asking for and receiving the help you need, which for most of us is something we avoid like the plague. I'll tell you though, being allowed to help someone, especially someone you love, accomplish a life's dream, that is a sacred honor. There is nothing better than to be allowed to make a meaningful impact in someone's life. It's what you secretly hope you can do before you meet that palliative care nurse. By the end of step 4, you assess your needs, complete your inventory, and implement strategies to address any gaps. Step 5, get it done even when things get hard. The final step is to have your contingency plan ready so that you can expect the unexpected. In this step, you identify the traps you're most likely to get caught in and set up the structures needed so that you can avoid them and maintain momentum toward your dream. Life will happen. Obstacles will appear. The key is to know what to do when life happens and threatens to knock you off your plan. Okay, so that's it. We've covered a lot of ground in a short period of time. You have seen why you need to pursue your dream now. You identified the Clark Kent disguise preventing you from being the hero of your own life. You became aware of how crazy expensive it is to remain in disguise. And you walked through the complete Dreammakers Make It Happen methodology, end to end, including breaking down your dream into manageable actions that you can take now. Look, so here's what happens right now after I go through the Make It Happen methodology. A lot of people look at the steps and go, oh, perfect, I'll just go do that, right? It sounds so easy. You might have even looked at the methodology as I was going through it and thought, well, that's obvious. Of course, that's what you do. But it's still not happening for you. You haven't created your dreams. I want you to know, on paper, this can look really easy. But when you get in the trenches, there are a lot of things that show up. I was working with an entrepreneur, a really smart woman. She was senior level in her company. She flies all over the country representing her employer at conferences. She's clearly used to making things happen. Her dream is to create her own business. That's a big, big dream. When you look at it, it becomes instantly overwhelming to break this down. And that's where you need support, tools, and proven methodology. When she sat down with me for the first time to really work through this, what was coming up for her as she broke it down was, wow, there is so much to do. I'm really overwhelmed. And all this emotion came up. On your own, that emotion can quickly send you into doing nothing. It can be paralyzing. Even though you intellectually get the process, it's easy to just stop. That's where it can be really helpful to have guidance and support. Your own fairy godmother, if you will, to help you see what is the first thing you need to do, what is the fastest move to get the momentum going, how not to get stuck in your old patterns that have you put off your dream or distract yourself with stuff like the juggler or Cinderella. That's the reason I decided to create a program to help you implement everything we've discussed rapidly. For over 20 years, I've gone into companies, huge companies, brands you would recognize with products you probably have sitting in your house right now. And these companies clearly know how to do planning. They've read the books, they've taken the courses, they know the steps. But when you start managing a really big, complex thing, especially something that's so important to you, it's helpful to have somebody who's objective and has a fresh set of eyes and can see your blind spots to help you navigate through the complexity and make it simple. And that's what I did for years. I would go into these companies, I would fly in to make it simple. So I can't go everywhere to help people create their dream as much as I would love to, but that's why I created Dream Camp, based on how I walk my private clients step by step through the Make It Happen methodology. It's so that we can come together and work through this live virtually. Because I believe what the world most needs now, more than ever, are heroes doing something that is sacred and meaningful for themselves, their families, their communities, and even the world. So for those of you who want to work directly with me, let me explain exactly what Dream Camp is. Dream Camp is my 8-week virtual program where you go deep into how to put the methodology into action with all the tools, checklists, and resources you need to go fast. You explore how to prepare for and implement each of the 5 steps of the Make It Happen methodology. Each week you receive daily lessons that take 15 to 30 minutes to complete, a short video, and a corresponding fun sheet. Because I know how busy you are, I have included a catch-up week right after step 3. Plan the work and work the plan, because that is where you really want to take your time working through the how of your dream, and I don't want you to feel rushed. In addition to the videos and the daily activities, every other week we will have an hour-long live Q&A call, so 4 Q&A calls total. You have an opportunity before each call to submit your fun sheet. Together, you and I will dig into your specific dream on the group call and talk through how to apply that week's tools and guidance to make the most progress possible toward your dream as quickly as possible. You walk into Dream Camp with a dream, and you end Dream Camp with everything you need to achieve your dream and at least one of the tasks of your dream plan completed. Dreams of all shapes and sizes, the serious and the silly, are welcome. No matter what your dream is, the Dreammakers methodology can work for you. You will experience an action-packed, fun program to jumpstart your dream. We've got all kinds of people and all kinds of dreams coming together for this experience. People who want to write books, get their business idea off the ground. People who want to put on children's musicals, raise goats and make goat milk ice cream. People who want to be Ella Fitzgerald for a night, who want to create works of art, travel to Fiji, climb Kilimanjaro. I am about to walk you through everything that is included, all the content and resources of the Dream Camp program. If you plan to try to do this on your own, you are welcome to stay with us. You will find value in seeing what you will need to implement this on your own. Let's begin. Week 1, practice great self-care. This week is dedicated to love. You are your most precious resource, essential to making your dream happen. Making your dream come true is an epic adventure, a hero's journey. To be able to go the distance, you need to have a foundation of great self-care so that you can be your best, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, as you work to make your dream real. The 5 pillars of great self-care walk through how to build that self-care foundation. Great Self-Care Bingo is a playful way to implement your self-care practice. The biggest problem I see when people take on something as big and audacious as a dream is they forget to take care of themselves. Making a dream happen is a marathon, not a sprint. Playing Great Self-Care Bingo helps you start your hero's journey by cherishing your most precious resource, you. Week 2, clarify the dreamy details. Knowing what the dream looks like in detail is crucial. In this step, you complete a visualization exercise, journey to your creative center, to get clear on all of the details. You work through the 5 lenses to get clear on why the dream is important to you. With the 7 waves matrix, you explore the impact you want to make and amplify your why. 10 words or less helps you create your elevator pitch so that you can share your dream with anyone, anywhere, at any time. Kick the Tires questionnaire helps you objectively assess the feasibility of your dream and, if necessary, brainstorm how to make it even stronger. One thing I will tell you about this step is that the biggest mistake people make here is not spending enough time focused on why they want this dream, the impact they want to make on their own lives and the lives of those around them. The 7 Waves Matrix helps you identify the full scope of the impact you want to have so you appreciate the significant difference you want to make. When you see the bigger connections, you're much more motivated to see it through to the end. Week 3, remove the obstacles. You explore the reasons you haven't already made the dream happen and what to do about them so that you can move forward. You complete your best and worst case scenarios, Mad Lib style. In the Break Free Guide, you look at the most common limiting beliefs to see which are holding you back. With the Belief Busters, you work through a number of different tools you can use to minimize, mitigate, and disappear the limiting beliefs you have. Because let's face it, we all have them, and they always pop up when you are your most vulnerable. What most people do is imagine the worst possible outcome and then bravely run away from their dream before they've really gotten started. Through the worst case scenario Mad Lib, you safely explore your most terrifying worst case scenario and then develop your survival guide so that you can stand your ground instead of running for the hills. Week 4, plan the work and work the plan. This is where you break down your dream into small bite-sized tasks that are manageable for your life and circumstances, as you saw earlier. The Roadmap to Victory template is where you take all of those manageable bite-sized tasks and organize them into your own unique dream plan. The Calendar at Activity is where you map your dream plan to your life so that you can hold yourself accountable to complete specific tasks by a specific date without feeling exhausted or like you have to quit your job to live your dream. The Do It Now matrix helps you identify low-hanging fruit tasks that you can complete right away during our time together. The biggest problem I see in this step is the feeling of overwhelm and not knowing how to get going. I've had 20 years of experience managing complex multi-million-dollar global projects for Fortune 100 companies, and I've taken all of that experience, expertise, and packaged it so you can quickly and easily see all of the moving parts and know exactly what you need to do by when to keep driving your dream forward so you can feel in control of your dream and not overwhelmed by it. Okay. By week 5, you've made it more than halfway through. You've absorbed a ton of content. You're building your dream maker's muscles like nobody's business, and you've done a ton of work. You've made more progress toward your dream in the past 4 weeks than in the last 10 years, and that is a big, big deal. This week is your opportunity to celebrate how far you've come and prepare yourself to finish Dream Camp strong. If you're like most people, myself included, life has happened over the last 4 weeks. You probably had every intention of doing all of the fun sheets and watching all of the videos ahead of schedule, being uber prepared, but maybe you fell behind early on. And so you've been beating yourself up that you're never going to get through this and you paid all of this money. Maybe you're still working on your dream plan. The how of your dream is complicated. It takes work. The biggest challenge I see as people are building momentum toward their dream is they forget it's a marathon, not a sprint. They burn themselves out. They push themselves to the point of exhaustion. And then their dream mutates from a sacred expression of their spirit to something they are going to conquer and check off the list, even if it kills them. That's not a dream. That's another flippin' thing on the to-do list. Catch-up week gives you the opportunity to catch your breath, to experience a little grace, and then prepare to finish strong. Week 6, inventory your resources. In this week, you'll look at your resources and what you'll need to make your dream happen. The safety net matrix helps you evaluate your support system. The badass bombshell is the shopping list of what you need to make your dream happen. The Mind the Gap Challenge helps you put in place strategies to address any gaps between what you have and what you need to make the dream come true. The biggest mistake people make once they've mustered the courage to go for their dream is they think they have to do it all by themselves. They don't want to be a burden or annoy their friends and loved ones with the most important personal goal they're chasing. It makes no sense, but that is exactly how I used to be. In fact, I spent years pulling my hair out trying to figure out a way to make 1 million dreams happen all by myself. It sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud now, but I wasted a lot of time and energy and heartache struggling to learn this lesson. I want you to avoid this pitfall and learn from my mistakes. I can tell you, as someone who has literally helped strangers make their own dreams come true, there is nothing more personally satisfying than knowing that I have had a deep, meaningful impact and made a difference in the life of a complete stranger, me, because of my unique gifts and talents. We all want to be seen and appreciated for who we are and what we bring to the table. We all want to contribute. In the Mind the Gap Challenge, you'll customize strategies to address any gaps between what you have and what you need to make your dream real. And you'll get comfortable letting people help you with your dream and make a meaningful contribution to your life. Week 7, get it done. This step looks at what to do when your life gets in the way of your dream. The Roadmap to Victory checklist helps you identify the most common traps that people fall into. The Expect the Unexpected is your personalized survival guide to avoid those traps before they get you. The biggest mistake people make once they've started to build momentum is they don't anticipate and really plan ahead for the obstacles, roadblocks, and curveballs that will come your way as you work to make your dream a reality. When you're not prepared for and expecting obstacles to appear, you feel like something's wrong or that you screwed up somehow. But that's the critical moment to keep going. As someone once said, most people give up just when they're about to achieve success. They quit on the 1 yard line without realizing it. They give up at the last minute of the game, 1 foot from the winning touchdown. With the Expect the Unexpected worksheet, you'll prepare your contingency plan so that you can look around corners, expect the unexpected, and keep going no matter what gets thrown your way. Week 8, put it together. This last week may be the most critical. You've made it. You've reached the final week of Dream Camp. Well done. This week, you pull together everything you've learned over the last 7 weeks and prepare yourself to follow through on your dream post Dream Camp. Dream Camp is like this safe, warm incubator where you jumpstart making your dream happen. But what do you do when Dream Camp is over and you're back in the real world? How can you prepare yourself to re-enter that cold, hard world and implement your dream plan no matter what until your dream is achieved? The Do It Now Matrix Part 2 revisits the tasks you said you were going to complete to make sure you've done what you said you would do. Keep Me Honest helps you build the structure to keep your momentum going after Dream Camp. Where do you go from here helps you lock in the lessons you've learned over the last 8 weeks so that you can refer to these touchstones when you're out in the real world. The biggest problem I see when people do a program like Dream Camp, when it comes to an end, they're not prepared for life in the real world. Keep Me Honest helps you create an environment to be successful and make your dream happen in the next 6 to 12 months. Dream Camp runs October 22nd through December 14th. In a virtual small group of fellow dreamers, you will play with all the tools I've described. You'll walk in with a dream and walk out already executing against your dream plan. There are 2 ways to participate: the Dream Camp Basic or VIP package. With the basic package, over the 8 weeks, you'll use the 30 tools, templates, and checklists and participate in 4 live group Q&A calls to jumpstart making your dream happen. Now, I know many of you are do-it-yourselfers. I myself usually fall into this category. Sometimes, though, I need more help and support. What I have discovered is that there's magic in getting help. You get energy around your dream and you build active engagement to make it happen. For those of you who want extra support during and after Dream Camp, I've created a special VIP package. In addition to the 8-week Dream Camp, where you'll receive all of the tools, templates, and checklists, the VIP package also includes 4 additional 60-minute live group Q&A calls, or 1 call each week, where you get to ask me questions to refine your plan, get laser coaching on how to remove limiting beliefs, or talk about whatever you need to be able to implement your dream plan and move forward with your dream. In addition, you will also receive a private video review of your complete dream plan, top to bottom, including potential gaps, how to estimate your time appropriately, how to sequence the steps of your dream plan, where you can find additional resources that you haven't thought of, and any special traps or common mistakes you need to be aware of. I'll bring a fresh set of eyes with over 20 years of experience managing global, complex, multi-million-dollar projects to your dream plan so that you can make your dream come true faster and benefit from my years of expertise and all the lessons I had to learn the hard way. Because I really want to equip you with everything you need to be successful, I'm including 3 powerful bonuses for the first 25 participants who register. These are the bonuses. You will receive the Time is Relative training to help you take 100% ownership of your time so that you can create more of it. The Money, Money, Money training guides you through how to create room in your financial life for your dream. Time and money are the biggest obstacles people say they have. In a recent survey that Dreammakers did, over 90% of people had concerns about finding the time and money to make their dream happen. So I've created bonuses to specifically tackle those common obstacles. I'm also going to include a private phone a friend 30-minute laser coaching session with me, so that if you get stuck as you're refining your dream plan or executing it, we can hop on the phone and work through it together. This package is worth over $5,000 if you invested in each item separately. Be one of the first 25 participants to register with the Dream Camp Basic Package, and you'll get the 8-week virtual course, all 30 of the tools, the 4 group live Q&A calls, the Time is Relative bonus, the Money, Money, Money bonus, and the Phone a Friend 30-minute laser coaching bonus for $787. If you choose the VIP package, you get all of that, plus 4 more group live Q&A calls for a total of 8 weekly calls, and your own private video review of your complete dream plan. And if you're one of the first 25 participants, you also get all of the bonuses for $997. I am committed to you getting your money's worth. I offer a no questions asked 100% money back guarantee. If you play full out at Dream Camp and you are not thrilled with the content and the potential to actually make your dream happen, by the end of week 3, I will refund 100% of your tuition. No hoops. Okay, so that's everything. I am committed to you making your dream happen. Dreammakers is here to help you make your dream happen, and we're here to support you until those dreams are achieved. I think the world needs more people who are the heroes of their own lives, doing something that is sacred and meaningful to them. I don't want you to find yourself at the end of your life regretting that you didn't have the courage to live a life true to who you are, counting all of those dreams that you let go unfulfilled until it was too late for you to do anything about them. Those people the Australian nurse worked with would have given everything they had to have the opportunity to go back, make different choices, and honor even one of the dreams they let go unfulfilled. This is a priceless opportunity. Whether you choose the $787 basic package or the $997 VIP package, you deserve to live your dream. You're only guaranteed this moment right now, so stop waiting for someday to come and start making your dreams come true now, together. You only live once. Scroll down to the bottom of this webinar and you will see the Yes, Claim My Spot Now button. Click on the button and you can review everything that I've gone over, everything that's included in Dream Camp. And when you're ready, select the package that is right for you, either the basic or VIP package, and click the Buy Now button. And if you're one of the first 25 participants to register, you'll also get the 3 bonuses. Thank you for joining me today. I'll send you a note shortly with the downloads from today's webinar. If you are ready to jumpstart your dream and drive it forward, I really want you to join us for Dream Camp. See you there.